Hey Draft Magic believers, this is Vito Gesualdi here with another product unboxing video. But this one is definitely one of the cooler ones I've done. Yes, even cooler than the time I did shots on top of an elliptical.
Cabal Therapy! Name a non-land card, target player reveals his or her hand, discards all cards with that name.
Now, you may have heard that DraftMagic.com has gotten its first sponsor, and we're really excited to be working with these guys, especially because this is a company that I've always really liked. It's TrollandToad.com. Now, if you've never bought cards from Troll and Toad, know that they have really good prices. These are always the guys that at conventions me and my buddies would always seek out, mostly because we like to sell our cards, and Troll and Toad buys them at very, very reasonable prices. But also, if you're buying stuff, I mean, check out their website. They got really good prices on everything. I know what you're thinking. Oh, it's a paid endorsement. You know, he has to say this. I really do love Troll and Toad. Anytime I wanted to sell my cards, they were the guys I would go to. So we're really excited to be working with them, and we're even more excited because they sent me this. Dun da da dun da da dun 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 da 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 da. It's a whole box of Avacyn Restored. That's awesome. Now, back with my play group, it was considered a sin to open sealed product without drafting it. But now that I live in California, I have no one to play Magic cards with. So I get to open all of these while my friends at home literally cry watching it, thinking about how we could have drafted it together. Sorry, guys. I want to find out what's inside. Let's check it out. Okay, so here's our box of Avacyn Restored, and let's get right into it. Start cracking these packs. Trying to think what we're looking for. There's obviously a bunch of mythic miracles, which we're going to want to be looking for. What's the Planeswalker? The blue Planeswalker, Tamiyo. She's a good one. Let's take a look. Gonna start off, I guess I'll go through the whole pack. Look at this, Thunderous Wrath, very cool. 5 damage, 1 mana, can't go wrong. Archangel's cool for Tim. I'm gonna make this card work. It's called Wild Defiance. Okay, the way Wild Defiance works is whenever a creature is targeted, it gets +3/+3. That means you can make your gut shots, which were already good, into giant growths. I'm gonna make it work. We got a foil Call to Serve. We'll make a foil pile. See if we get some cool stuff there. Alright, pack 2. I think I see something I like in there. Yeah, Human Frailty. Cool little uncommon there. And already we've grabbed our first mythic. It's a big dumb thing for people who play EDH. Flying, first strike, double up your damage. Yeah, we can't argue with a mythic. Not the mythic I would have wanted to rip. But if I ever want to play red-white, I'll have fun with that. Red-white EDH anyway. I don't think I'm going to pay 7 mana. Here's a cool new variation on a classic, what was the first one? Distress. This one's converted mana cost 4 or more. So kind of punishes decks that are trying to put out those big Planeswalkers. I actually like that card. Killing Wave, I think Marlon's talked about it. Card is not as good as people seemed to think it was. I read that card and I was like, this is bad. This is another card that lets my opponent choose what to do, which most of the time, unless it's like Vexing Devil, which seems pretty ridiculous, is not worth doing. Some people are actually finding room for Arcwing Dragon. I guess because people aren't playing the Spirit tokens that would normally be blocking it. You're not seeing that many decks with Spirit tokens. The cool thing is it dodges sorcery speed removal. And people are playing, like, people are playing, oh, what's that stupid card? It kills everything with the same name. Or exiles everything with the same name. I know that's one piece of removal that's getting played. Also, like, some, burn-type spells, burn the world. I don't know. I'm having a brain fart right now. Exquisite Blood. Obviously, there's the combo with the card from M12. What was that called? Sanguine Bond. So Sanguine Bond says whenever an opponent, whenever you gain life, an opponent loses that much life, and this one says whenever an opponent loses life, you gain that much life. So it's a 2-card infinite combo, assuming you find a way to make them lose life, which hopefully isn't too hard for most decks. Let's talk about this card in Limited real quick. Homicidal Seclusion. A lot of people gave me crap for not taking it. I was like, is this really that good? And then I realized, yeah, you basically just play one guy over and over and make him ridiculous. And then when they block and kill it, you play down another big, ridiculous lifelinker. Very hard for people to deal with. This card, I haven't found a room for it in Limited yet. It's blink a guy every turn, but it's at the beginning of the end step. Which means there's some guys who you want to do the blink shenanigans like pre-combat or in the middle of combat, so Closet seems pretty junky to me so far. I also doubt it'll find play in Constructed, but you never know. It's a little expensive. Devastation Tide. Might be some control type decks going on. I've definitely tried playing it in Limited and never been too impressed with it, so I'd say let that ship around. Alright, and Zealous Conscripts. This guy might start seeing some play. It's a 3/3 haste that threatens a guy when it comes into play. Obviously, if it's taking a Titan for 1 less mana, that's 9 points of damage, usually enough to win the game if it's grabbing a Titan. Going through here, Dark Imposter, obviously, limited bomb, 6 mana, destroy a guy. Probably not going to see any constructed play, but it is a Vampire Assassin, very cool for trading to Tim. And we got a foil of that dumb rare that I'm going to find a way to make work. Alright, still haven't seen anything too crazy. Let's see if we start getting a little nuttier here. Angel of Glory's Rise is the opposite of the stupid big zombie card. I think it's... I mean, I get it. They want to do top-down design, but I don't... It's an angel that kills all the zombies, whatever. Seraph Sanctuary, dumb angel land. This set has a lot of really... I feel almost like Wizards tried really way too hard to have an angel set and really wanted to play it. Like, an angel land, it's a little much. No one's building angel decks except for, you know, Tim and his buddies. This guy is going to start going up in price. I can't imagine this not getting played. It's a 3/4 flash flyer that's already good and blink something when it comes into play. I'm stocking up on those online. I think you should as well. I mean, if that card doesn't get played, I actually think it's a crime. I hate when they design cards I think are super cool and they just never see play in anything. Okay, another Mythic, Avacyn. Not a money rare. Again, a big Timmy guy, so... It's no Iona. I think we all know that. It's the big, I guess people are kind of upset that, it doesn't dominate limited game. Well, it costs 8. If you get it in play, you probably got a good chance of winning the game, but they wanted something a little more aggressive, so then they just don't know what it's going to get played in. Summerworld Sage, I would be interested to see if this starts getting played. It's a little expensive for something that's so very quick to die, any kind of whatever, but I'm thinking about a Coalition Relic. Coalition Relic was an artifact that let you tap for 2 different colors. This gives you 3 of any color. Obviously, I think it's going to find play in like weird EDH builds. I should probably stop talking about what's going to get played in EDH. Big foil Human Frailty there. That's kind of cool. Yeah, pretty much any card that is overcosted or weird for a different format has room for it in EDH. People think this is a really EDH type themed set. They might be right. This card is weird. 7 cost. Choose an order for artifacts, creatures, lands. Everybody starts sack. I am not even going to read that card. And that fits a theme of big red sorceries that do something weird and crazy, like Warp World. So if you're a Warp World fan, you have a new Warp World thing. Some people are saying dual casting might find room. Again, you got to put it on a guy so it's fragile, but that guy says double up on instants and sorceries. Maybe if there's some big hexproof guy, might be worth sticking it on him. Come on now. You gotta give me one money mythic, right? We have... Nope. The bad Planeswalker. My buddy Chris says that this is one of the... He thinks it's one of the worst Magic cards printed in years. I don't think that's entirely true. It is interesting. I don't know why his filter ability makes you discard cards at random. It's a very weird choice. But he's cool. I actually kind of like the design space for a 2-mana Planeswalker. It really did have to be pretty underpowered, but I mean, anybody can just punch it and it dies. So here we just opened something we wanted. It is a Miracle Time Walk Temporal Mastery. I don't think I have to go at length about how good I think that card is. I mean, usually the worst that this card is 1 in a blue, explore, draw a card, which would already be... It's already ridiculous. So why would people not want that card? More Thunderous Wrath. Gonna build a burn deck. Here, if the format was slow, I would actually think this is like... No, I wouldn't. I was thinking of a different card. This is a 7-cost, take a guy, it's big and flies. Definitely a jank rare. I was thinking about Take Possession, which was a 7-cost, take control of anything with Split Second. And I actually used to run that card. That card is no Split Second. Is this a Mythic? Yeah. Exile the top card of your library. If it's a permanent, put it on the battlefield. Here's a 10-cost sorcery. Have fun with that. I don't... This set has a lot of really... cards that I don't believe were designed for standard. Or more designed for fun. This guy might just see play as a 4/4 hexproof. That's a pretty good body. His impulse ability... Actually, if you played a control deck that killed everything on the board and then made Lone Revenant and the only thing that was swinging in, I can see that being a force to be dealt with. Silverblade Paladin, I gotta break this card. Anything that says Double Strike on it, I just want to break it. Because Double Strike is such a ridiculous ability whenever you, like, pump guys. There used to be a card called Double Cleave, which gave Double Strike an instant speed. I'm sure I've told this story before, but my Double Cleave deck was one of my favorite decks. Here again on the theme of things that cost too much mana. It's 7 mana for a 7/7 that blows up something at random. If it manages to not hit a land, remember this is turn 7, so most of the permanents are going to be lands. If it manages to not hit a land, it'll blow up something else at random, but most of the time it's going to hit a land, which doesn't help anyone. This card, a little too expensive, I think, for constructed, but if you're playing limited, it's just a cheap, it's a 2-for-1. You make one of their guys not do damage, put a blocker in front of it, and then redirect its damage to another one of their guys. I would always first pick Divine Deflection, unless I saw something ridiculous. Here we have a Millstone variant, and like most Millstone variants, I am not interested in playing Mill. I don't think I've ever played a Mill deck, just not my kind of thing. Okay, now I see a lot of people online playing this card incorrectly. You really have to read it, okay? Because it's ridiculous. When it comes into play, sack a guy, it's a 5/4 flyer Undying. Okay? When it comes back into play off the Undying trigger, you have to sack a guy again. So many people have had this come back into play against me and been like, wait, why did it die? And I'm like, well, because it killed itself. It sacked itself. So definitely a limited bomb. It only costs 4. You gotta sack a guy. But just make sure you have some creatures to feed to it. Card has been surprisingly consistent against me. There's a lot of humans out there. And if you tap 3 of them, you kill a guy. One time, though, a guy who was tapping all his guys kept giving me spirit tokens, then I beat him to death with spirit tokens. So make sure you can actually put some pressure on after you're killing their dudes. We have a foil of that 4/4 hexproof. Not that exciting, but better than no foil rare. We're getting down to the bottom of the box. And big ol' Angel Lord. I like this one. 3/3. Everybody gets +1/+1. Wait, black. Weird. And players cannot pay life or sack creatures to cast spells or activate abilities. So it's shutting off Gut Shot. It's shutting off, what is it called? Dismember. What else? What sacks creatures to cast spells? I guess there's some black stuff that is a thing. I want this card to get played so bad. It's a 4/3 for 2 mana. When it dies, they get it as a 5/4. Very risky. I was experimenting in a deck that had Cloud Shift to blink it out of the way. I'm not going to say that deck is good, but I was experimenting with it. Here we got Arcane Melee. Your instants and sorceries are cheaper. Might be some sort of combo there. Foil Soul Cage Fiend. Very good guy for limited. Very good beater. If you're black and you want to get aggressive, I actually can see Soul Cage Fiend seeing some constructed play. Just how aggressive it is. Gloom Surgeon makes no sense. Nobody knows why it was printed. Nobody knows why there's a black spirit that exiles card. We just don't know why that card exists. But it's there. Alright. I wanted Tamiyo. Maybe I'll get one in the end. Nope, here's another mythic. Power and toughness equal to the highest life total among your opponents. Rounded up. Damage dealt by Mal'Ganis can't be prevented. Maybe good. I don't know. It seems like it just gets very tiny, right? I mean, but its damage can't be prevented. But it has no protection. Ooh, cool. This is a cool mythic. Big ol' Angel Lord. Definitely seeing some play. It's hexproof. So nobody knows how to deal with it. And you can't sack it, so nobody knows how to deal with it. Foil Latch Seeker. Obviously a limited bomb. Snap them up. Now we got 4 packs left to go. I'm running out of time on the tape. Let's see if I can power through them. Cathar's Crusade. Very cool. I like that card. In limited. Not constructed. Your anthems are usually themed by your deck, so you don't need that one. Hey, we got a Cavern of Souls. Everybody knows about this one. Land. Doesn't let your creature spells get countered. People are going to need them, so hold on to them. Card will probably get played for a while. Basically any deck that any tribal deck is going to want this, like elves, that sort of thing. Whatever creature's dealt damage by Dreadslaver. This card, I don't know. It's if it had Death Touch or something, but even in limited, I think this is a little too weak. Card kind of seems like an uncommon to me. And our final pack. Maybe we get hooked up. Another Devastation Tide. Ooh, Wolf-Ear Avenger. I like this guy. This guy makes green very viable. Alright, so that was a full box of Avacyn Restored. We definitely got a good number of Mythic Rares. Definitely happy to see Temporal Mastery. A couple of the ones we missed. We missed Bonfire of the Damned. We didn't get a Tamiyo, the Moon Sage. And Griselbrand, I guess, is another cool one. But overall, I can't complain. Definitely an awesome box. And again, check out trollandtoad.com. They've got excellent prices on Avacyn Restored product. If you're looking to sell some cards, definitely the people to bring them to. And just a great retailer all around. Thanks for checking it out, and see you guys around.